Hello, dear students. Welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry on YouTube. We are continuing with our topic States of Matter, and this is part 5 in the series of videos on the topic. What shall we be doing in this topic? Yes, we are picking up from where we left, and we are going to talk about the Avogadro's law. I had introduced this law to you in the previous lesson where we said that equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure contain the same number of particles. Now, these particles can be atoms, molecules, right? So we say volume is directly proportional to number of particles provided your temperature and pressure remain the same. Now, number of particles, as we have seen earlier in chapter 1, we express it in terms of the number of moles. That's the standard which is chosen to express the number of particles. And what is number of moles equal to? Yes, number of moles is equals to the mass of the substance divided by its molar mass, or the relative atomic mass if the gas is existing in the form of an atom, right? So relative atomic mass or relative molecular mass. So for example, if I'm talking about gases like helium, neon, argon, they are all atomic in nature, right? So if we are talking about atoms, we will use relative atomic mass, otherwise relative molecular mass. We also know the Avogadro number or the Avogadro constant. This is known as Avogadro number or Avogadro constant, denoted by Na. What does it stand for? Na or Avogadro constant is the number of particles in 1 mole of any gas, which is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 particles at STP. Please don't forget the conditions, because we are talking about specific or fixed temperature and pressure. And when we are giving the value 6.022 into 10 to the power 23, we are talking about the conditions of STP. So please make sure that you add STP in your definition. Yes, you have to note down these points because they will be very, very handy for offline reference when you don't have YouTube around to help you. So please make sure that you keep copying what you see on the screen to make your notes available for offline reference. Isn't that good? Now we've learned a lot of things. We said volume of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to N according to the Avogadro's law. Yes, volume is directly inversely proportional to pressure according to Boyle's law. I hope you are now very comfortable with these. Volume is directly proportional to temperature in the Kelvin scale according to the Charles law. So if you know all of this, why not put all of it together? And there we go. We have volume is directly proportional to N into T. So both go in the numerator divided by P, that is the denominator. Removing the proportionality sign, we put a constant over here. And the constant that we put is capital R, which is known as the universal gas constant. What is universal gas constant? We are going to define it a little later. And this also gives us a very interesting equation, which is called as the ideal gas equation. And what does the ideal gas equation say? Take P to the left hand side. So we have PV is equals to nRT. Pressure into volume is number of moles into the universal gas constant into the temperature in degrees Celsius or Kelvin? Correct. It is Kelvin. This equation is also known as the equation of state. Now, if you recall, when we started with lesson 1, We said that any gas is defined in terms of four variables: pressure, volume, temperature, and mass. It is this equation which is a culmination of these four factors and helps to combine them in one single equation rather than we dealing with each one of them separately. Right? Okay, another question. What do you mean by the word molar volume? Because there's a lot of difference that you will see in different textbooks. Different textbooks have different value for molar volume. I will try and clear this doubt for you today because this doubt worried me also for a long time. Molar volume, as the name indicates, is volume of 1 mole of a gas. Now, 1 mole of a gas at what, right? So we say it can be that 1 mole can be at STP or it can be SATP or RTP. Oh, again, new terms, right? STP. If you notice, for two STPs, I have written different. One is the present, one is the older version. Students of different syllabi will be able to understand this very, very clearly. So you do not need to, hop, skip, and jump to different videos. S for standard, T for temperature, P for pressure. But what is this standard? Now, when I was doing my studies, so that was probably hundreds of years back, when we were in school, we were taught the molar volume at STP as 22.4 liters. And in some of the curriculum, they still continue with 22.4 liters. Now, you have to understand that when you are taking the molar volume or when you see that the molar volume is 22.4 liters at STP, that means our pressure is 1 atmosphere. In such curriculum, the standard pressure or in such books, the pressure would be taken in atmospheres. And temperature, of course, is 0 degrees Celsius, that is 273.15 Kelvin. Whereas there are other curriculum where the molar volume is taken as 22.7 or 22.71 liters to be more exact. Where does the difference lie? The temperature is the same, 273.15 Kelvin. You notice over here pressure is taken as 1 bar. That is the standard SI unit of pressure that has been accepted, right? But varying from curriculum to curriculum, country to country, the standard values may be different. In fact, within the same country also, depending upon the field a person is working in, as you will advance into more technical fields, you will see that the values used may be much different from these scientific values. So try and understand the logic behind it rather than just memorizing it. So it's 22.71 liters when you are taking the pressure as 1 bar. That's the standard pressure. That is why if you notice I have written the word present over here. Presently the value is this. But in older textbooks and older study material, you will find the standard molar volume as 22.4 liters. There's another value that I have come across. Some of the curriculum, they choose the standard molar volume as 25 liters, more exact 24.789 liters. Why? What is the difference that they take? They take the RTP, that is room temperature and pressure conditions, or SATP. SATP standing for standard ambient temperature and pressure conditions. In such a case, if you pay attention to the temperature is not 0 degrees Celsius as was the case in STP. It is taken as 25 degrees Celsius, so more exact is 298.15 Kelvin. So 298 Kelvin. Pressure continues to be 1 bar, right? So then in such a case, you will have to take the volume as 25 liters. So now instead of just memorizing, if you go by logic, you will find yourself much more comfortable. So if you have the pressure as 1 bar, see the difference between 1 bar and 1 atmosphere. 1 atmosphere is approximately, it is approximately 1 bar, but not exactly. It's 0.98692 bar. Very small difference. That is why you notice there is a difference in the first decimal place, right? Now, so you see your curriculum, what value is being applied for your curriculum. Have you noted these down? Do I go on to the next slide? Okay. We come back to the ideal gas equation. PV is equals to nRT. Now I told you that we'll talk more about this R later on. PV is equals to nRT. So from here I get R is PV upon N into T. In other words, R is the universal gas constant given by the product of pressure and volume divided by the number of moles and the temperature in Kelvin. So what is the unit of this R? It all depends upon what is the unit of pressure, volume, and being taken by you. Temperature, as we said, always is in Kelvin. So your unit and number of moles are always, so because it is in the denominator, per mole per Kelvin is definitely there in your unit. What we are left with to see is what is the unit of pressure and volume you are using. If you are using volume in liters and pressure in bar, so you will have liter into bar, right? If you are using volume in meter cube and pressure in pascals, then what will be the unit? Obviously, you'll have pascals meter cube per mole per Kelvin. Per mole per Kelvin will always be there. If you are taking the pressure in pascals and the volume in liters, then it will be pascals into liters per mole per Kelvin. So it all depends upon what is the unit of pressure and volume you are taking. Per mole per Kelvin will always be there in the unit of R, right? Now, let's find out its value. By the way, I hope you are again noting down what we've done over here. This will come in very, very useful if in case, although I am very confident that if you understand, you won't forget. But just in case there is a confusion, you can always refer to this material that you are noting down. Now I'm coming to the value of R, the value of R which is accepted now according to the present system. So as we said, R is equals to PV upon N into T. As I said, we can use the value of pressure in bar or in pascals or in atmospheres. You can take anything. If I go by the units, by the standard units, now the standard unit of pressure is Pascal. For volume, it will be meter cube per mole per Kelvin. Now, if I am talking about the standard temperature and pressure conditions, right? So what I've got over here, 1 bar means I will have 10 to the power 5 pascals over here. 22.7 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube, right? Because it was 22.7 liters. If you are not familiar with the conversion of liter to meter cube, that's video number 1 in this playlist. Everything clearly explained. Number of moles 1 because we are talking about the molar volume. Temperature 273.15. Calculate over here, we get 8.314 pascals meter cube per Kelvin per mole per Kelvin, anything, right? Now, what is pascals? The SI unit. Pascal means Newton per meter square. So I put Newton per meter square over here. So I get Newton into meter. Now, do you remember physics you did? Work done is force into displacement, Newton into meter. And this was called as joules, right? So we have another unit, the same value, 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole or joule per mole per Kelvin, right? On the other hand, if I continue to use or express the volume in liters, so 22.7 liters, pressure is in bar 1 into 273.15, then what will happen? Divide, you will get 0.08314 liter bar per Kelvin per mole per Kelvin. Is that clear? Right? Have you noted this down? So this is the value of R for those curriculum who are going on with the present system. Again, you see what is the unit of volume and pressure you are using. Accordingly, you decide what value of R you are going to take over here. In thermodynamics, we use this value because in thermodynamics, which we are dealing with energy, and energy is always in joules. So in such topics, in thermodynamics, electrochemistry, Faraday's laws, you will come across this value of R more often. What about when I was doing my chemistry lessons, right? When I was a student, that is why I put then. As I said, we stuck to the pressure as 1 atmosphere. So in such a case, there is a difference in the third decimal place. It's 8.313 joule per Kelvin per mole or 0.08204 liter atmosphere per Kelvin per mole. So it is not a big difference, but just to make the concept clearer. And what about SATP? Again, I just put the values. 24.789 is the molar volume and 298.15 is the temperature, the ambient temperature, right? So the value of R is 8.314 joule per Kelvin per mole. Easy? Now, just now we spoke about the ideal gas equation. PV is equals to nRT. Who's an ideal student? Yes, who follows everything to the T, everything, homework on time, activities, sports, extracurricular activities, is always smiling, is always helping other students. But do we have such kind of ideal students? No, none of us is ideal in nature, right? No one of us. Even I am not. We are all prone to mistakes. And the best part is we all learn from our mistakes. Okay, let's come back to the topic. What's the significance of the word ideal? That means an ideal gas, like an ideal student, will follow all the rules that you laid down for it. So it's going to follow the Boyle's law, the Charles law, the Avogadro's law, the Gay-Lussac's law, everything it has to follow. But we find that in practical experience, when we draw these graphs for gases, there is a deviation from ideality. There is no linear relation always under all conditions, right? So we say Boyle's law, Charles' law, and Avogadro's law under all conditions. But in reality, or real gases, they do not show these laws. They do not obey these laws under all conditions. They may obey these laws under specific range of conditions, but not under all conditions, right? What is the reason for this? This is because of the presence of the forces of attraction between the particles of any gas or even a mixture of gases, right? So, do such gases exist? Do ideal gases exist? No. No gas is ideal, but yes, real gases behave ideally under certain conditions, right? But not under all conditions, right? So let's go on to the application of what we have learned. How are we going to use the combined gas equation? Numerical, simple, and you can see it on your screen. I'm sure by now you know what you have to do. Go ahead, do this numerical. Try it yourself. I'll keep it on the screen. Or you can pause your screen, try doing this question yourself. We've done so many questions till now. You remember the rule, right? Data, unit, formula, answer with the unit. So first jot down the data. Let us correlate density of a gas to pressure, volume, and temperature using again the ideal gas equation. PV is equals to nRT. It's simple, right? If you know that density is the mass per unit volume of a substance, so mass divided by volume. So the challenge today is, can you derive an expression for density from the ideal gas equation? Try it before you go on to see what I am going to do. So you have two challenges till now. First is this numerical that you are yet to complete. You are waiting for me to do it for you. No, I want you to do it, please. And the second is deriving a relation between the density of a gas to pressure, volume, and temperature. If you are following the channel, I would love to see your answers in the comment section. Comment only if you have tried it yourself. If not, join me on the next video where I shall give you the answers to these. Till then, stay connected, stay happy.